Yo, what's good, y'all? Top of the top, episode 294, Stash House Podcast. Your boy Tyler checking in. First time listeners, thank y'all for tuning in. If you tune in weekly, salute, or there's just an episode, saw some topics you may want to hear about, thank you for tuning in as well. Podcast available on all streaming platforms, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, YouTube. Subscribe to the YouTube page. Also, like this video as well on YouTube. Also, subscribe to your preferred audio platform. Tell a friend to tell another friend. Check out this show. Hope everyone had a safe week, safe weekend. Do the same this upcoming week. First episode in a few weeks. I told y'all back in July, I was taking about a 2-week break. So I'm back. So I hope the month of August has been going well for everyone. Hope the rest of the year goes great for everyone. College football, NFL will be kicking off very, very soon, so I'll get more into that next week. This week, though, I'm taking it back to the old days. I'm doing audio only. I will try to get the audio for YouTube as well, but in terms of video, there will be no video. I will post different things on my TikTok, the Stash House Podcast TikTok, pertaining to these albums this week as well. Hopefully, everything gets situated with the studio by next week. We had an update with the computer, so we got to route the computers and the cameras, do all that to get everything straight. But if not, I'll be doing the same thing next week when it comes to Ohio State football. So just bear with me for the time being. This week episode got a lot of great things to talk about in the music world. Some new albums. Chance the Rapper, he returned with his Starline album. JID and Gunna released new albums a few weeks ago. So sit back, relax. Let's get to it. New episode, Stash House Podcast. So to start things off, let's talk about Chance the Rapper new album, Starline. His first album since 2019, The Big Day. And we know how that album was received. If my memory served me correctly, I talked about it on the podcast. I want to say the release of the album was kind of chaotic. I know it came out the same day the Young Dolph and Key Glock collab project dropped as well. So I think by the time I started listening to The Big Day, that weekend it came out, it was just different than the vibe I was already on for that weekend. And then eventually when I got back around to listening to it, it just wasn't it. And I'm a casual Chance the Rapper fan, I'll say. He has songs I enjoyed. He has albums, projects I enjoy. I went to the Coloring Book tour. Shout out my boy Jake. Went to the Coloring Book tour when he went on tour for that album. I think that was 2017, if I'm not mistaken. So I'm a casual fan. So if he put out music that I enjoy, cool. But throughout the past years, since 2019, he has thrown out records I've seen, because on Twitter, I follow Fake Shore Drive, who's like the music guy for Chicago. I've been following him for a minute. And he's been posting Chance songs and Chance features over the past few years, but I just haven't had the urge to click on it. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, I'm just a casual. If people get to talking about it, I'll check it out. But for this new Starline album, of course, I was going to check it out. I was hoping Chance bounced back. That was my hopes going into this album. I was like, okay, The Big Day came out. We know how that was received. The gist of the album everybody ran with was, he loved his wife. He loved his wife. Sadly, they split. And then Chance was one of the guys who, for some reason, just couldn't let go of his admiration for Kanye West. Like, it's cool to look up to the guy musically, whatever, but there was a time where I think Chance should have detached himself from Kanye West. I want to say, if I'm not mistaken, didn't the video come out? Kanye, I think he was working on maybe Donda, if I'm not mistaken. And he was like yelling at Chance or something like that. He was yelling at somebody in the room while Chance was there. And just like a lot of people just finally started saying with Kanye, he just seemed like the guy you just don't want to have a conversation with. Because he's going to veer off into something totally different than what y'all started talking about to begin with. So I feel like Chance should have kind of separated himself from Kanye. And overall, I think this album, he kind of not only found himself as an artist, but just as a man again. Because I feel like this is the first Chance the Rapper album I've listened to that felt like he just a regular guy. Meaning acid rap, because I wasn't up on acid rap like everybody else. Like my homeboys legit played it so much around me, I just started liking it. That was one of those mixtapes for me where I just wasn't feeling it at the crib by myself. But when I get with the homies and they just keep playing it's like, okay, cool. But acid rap, I remember just people like the whole story behind acid rap and the features he had, and just the different records on that project. I was like, okay, this seemed like a young guy from Chicago. I'm guessing he's on acid while doing this mixtape. And then you go to Coloring Book, coming off of, I want to say, Life of Pablo. Wasn't that after Life of Pablo or around the same time? So it was a little bit more on the praise and worship side, but yet he still got the No Problems. He got these different records on Coloring Book, but the overall gist of Coloring Book seemed like, okay, Chance is the good guy. He's the good guy of hip hop right now. He came in the game. He's preaching independency. He's winning Grammys off being independent at the Coloring Book tour. And I thought I had a picture of that. I wanted to post a picture on TikTok of this. But on the Coloring Book tour, when he performed No Problems, he had on the screen the different major label logos and he remixed them. So Sony was phony. Universal was undiverse. So it's just a lot of things in terms of where he independent. Is he signed to a major? What do the majors feel about him? And I'm sure some work behind the scene did happen because it goes back to my theory. You can have great mixtapes and great albums. You drop one bad album and everybody just writes you off. You know what I'm saying? I was like, damn, bro can give y'all great work, but we got to wait a little minute till we get to the fall off type of conversations. You know what I'm saying? Now, if you would have just came out and said, yo, I'm done with music, whoop, then I've been like, damn. But the fact, 6 years after the big day, he returns with Starline, is being well received from the most part from what I've seen. I got to salute Chance on that. Because we don't really see artists get that 6-year grace period. And I do think Starline is well worth it. A make or break album, and he took full advantage of it. He took full advantage. So shout out to Chance for that. Standout records. I love the intro. It sounds like Chance got back with the right people. You know what I'm saying? Like Coloring Book just was a moment. Acid Rap was a moment. The big day just could have been done a little bit better. And I think Starline, just from pressing play and getting that intro, I always say, as a rapper, you know what fans are saying. If you're a rapper and you build a core fan base, you hear what your fans are saying. So just speak on it. That's the best thing you can do, just speak on it. Then you go to track 2, Ride with Do or Die, legendary group from Chicago. Oh, Chance, you getting tapped back in. You know what I'm saying? Like, those 2 records are a great way to start an album that many will consider a make or break album for you. And I love how Chance approached it. And then you go to number 3, No More Old Men. That kind of remind me of the Sade song. Swing. Come on, man. Negro Problem, I really enjoy. The highs and lows, I really enjoy. But it does get to a period, I'll say around track 7, maybe track 8, if I'm not mistaken. Track 8, Space and Time, all the way down to track 14, Speed of Light. That portion of the album is where it's like kind of pick and choose. The first 7, I'm not mad at. You got back with Vent Missile on Back to the Go. It was just dope the first 7. But from track 8 to 14, it's kind of pick and choose. And I love the ending. I love Pretty. I love Just a Drop with Jay Electronica. Jasmine Sullivan, Speed of Love, the outro. I love those 3 records to end the album. I love the first 7 records to start the album. But 8 to 14 is the part where when I go back and listen, I'm like, okay, this song kind of growing on me. This song I could still do without. But overall, in terms of a make or break album, Chance came out swinging with those first 7 records. I love the track with Joey Badass as well, the highs and the lows. I really enjoy that record. I really love that. The first 7 is crazy. Like I say, Negro Problems, that ride, that intro. Shout out to Chance. Next album I want to talk about, JID, God Does Like Ugly. It's easily my favorite JID album since his first album, The Never Story, which was basically his Dreamville debut album. The Never Story is incredible. God Does Like Ugly is a great follow-up. DiCaprio 2 felt more like I can just rap very well. You know what I'm saying? Like coming off the Never Story was definitely, oh, he can rap and he can make records. DiCaprio 2 just felt like, I'm just going to show y'all I can rap better than a majority of the field. The Forever Story was, okay, him going back, talking about family situations and all that. So now with this album, you go back to what you did with the Never Story. Rap very well and construct very, very great songs. And JID just always been in a great place, in my opinion, in terms of his career. Like I said, you come on the scene early with a great project. And with DiCaprio 2 and Forever Story throughout that duration, you just still showing on features. You can rap very well. Your team got together a few years ago and figured, okay, let's make this song with 21 Savage, a TikTok song. Let's have girls put their phone up or camera up to the ceiling and let them twerk, and let's do the ceiling challenge. So not only are you remaining a great rapper, you also adapting to the time period that we in, saying, okay, I got a song. Women somehow, some way, find a way to twerk to it with their phone on the ceiling. And they ain't like they just posted their phone up by the microwave and twerking. They posted their phone up on the ceiling to get a certain angle to show the twerk. Shout out to JID and his team for that. That ceiling challenge was crazy. I was like, okay, if JID can figure it out, why can't most other artists figure out a way to adapt to the times with TikTok and all that? So right now with God Does Like Ugly, coming off, I want to repeat, coming off your feature on Freddie Gill's album. It's been a lot of great albums coming out lately. I'm definitely not mad at it. It's been conversations. Is it too much music come out? Which is a conversation I feel like happens every year. I feel like we always have this conversation. And in my opinion, it's neither a winner or a loser in this conversation. It's just something for people to say when you just can't get to an album that weekend it dropped. There's no rush. I feel like a lot of people, including myself, just want to critique music so much. We feel like we got to come back with a whole theory of an album within that weekend. It's like, no, just think about it like it's 2004, 2005 again. If it was a lot of trash albums dropping, we would say, damn, ain't nothing but trash coming out. Or if it was no music at all dropping, we would say, damn, ain't no music dropping. So why are we complaining where it's too much music dropping and it's good quality music that's dropping at the same time? I'm on record saying, yeah, I'll talk about this album, but I haven't got to the new Young Nudy album. I haven't got to the new Bryson Tiller album. I just haven't got to it. You Ugly, West Side Gun on the intro, that kind of took me back a little bit. I didn't expect a West Side Gun intro on a JID project. Being that West Side Gun throughout the years does take jabs at Dreamville, I feel, when he does these other record labels talk. Y'all know how West Side Gun talk, but shout out to West Side Gun, JID, that You Ugly intro. I did not expect that. Work, I really enjoy. Community with Clips, I really enjoy. VCRs with Vince Staple. Skate with Sierra and Earth Gang. Talk about one to hit the road real quick and just go to a skating rink. I love that the skate song with Sierra and Earth Gang. And JID team, I'm positive they got a video on the way for that. And I'm positive this might be the song where they do another challenge. You got the skate rink culture still exists. I get on TikTok. I'm not sure what's the location of these skating rinks, but they be crowded. They be crowded. So I'm sure they're going to find a great location. I wouldn't be surprised if it's Cascade, one of them skating rinks up there in the A. Definitely. Wholeheartedly, I really enjoy. And on McAfee, the On McAfee record is why JID is one of the best rappers in the game. That flow, going in and out of different flows and still having substance in your rhymes, that's the type of record when JID does that flow, when he come on the song just going crazy. If you haven't already, check out the song Bruh he got. I think it's Bruh, if I'm not mistaken. When he just come on there rapping fast and he just going crazy. When he does that alien shit, when artists do that, y'all know who I think about when artists do that? And it's going to sound cliche, but I'm going to give y'all a specific moment. When Kendrick Lamar did that Funk Flex freestyle over Who Shot You, and he was doing that shit with his fingers by his ears, that's what every time JID or an artist just like rapping real fast, but they saying something at the same time, I always think of that image of Kendrick with his fingers in his ears. For some odd reason, I always think of that. And On McAfee is one of the flows where I was like, yeah, that's that. I ain't gonna say that's that Kendrick influence, because obviously Kendrick ain't the only one that ever rap fast, but we hear the resemblance in JID and what Kendrick does as well. But overall, JID, God Does Like Ugly, solid project. And like I said, it's easily my favorite JID album behind the Never Story. It showed me like, okay, like I said before, DiCaprio 2, he's just showing he can rap very well. Still some good songs on there, but he just showing he can rap very well. Forever Story went back to his roots, giving y'all a little insight of his life and all that, his family. But God Does Like Ugly, he was like, all right, it's like he knew a lot of heat was about to drop, so he can't come with some bullshit. That's how I feel JID approached this album. He like, man, Clips them drop, Freddie Gibbs them drop, Whoop de Whoop, Rumor to drop. We saw what happened last year. The rappers coming out to play. You saw Joey Badass, Ray Vaughn, and all those guys going crazy. I can't come with some bullshit. So he does very, very well with this God Does Like Ugly. So shout out to JID. And lastly, Gunna, The Last Wun, the last album on YSL, which had me very confused on why people just kept posting, damn, Gunna sounding the same, Gunna sounding the same. If you was about to get out of your contract, you just putting anything together. You know what I'm saying? He probably just meeting that quota he got to meet. And man, just I'm out. I gave y'all however many years. All this been going on with the YSL trial. I'm the only one out the camp making quality music. let's start with that. I'm the only one really probably bringing in some money throughout the years while all this going down, while this whole label just collapsed. I'm the only one who got out and got straight to work. And this how y'all repay me? I'm out. Which I didn't think about throughout the past years. I was like, they saying Gunna still signed, but I'm sure Gunna don't want to be signed to a label that's doing all this talking, and Thug came home. He can't stop tweeting. So I never thought about, oh, damn, maybe Gunna trying to get out of a contract. Because he's been putting out quality music. That's my thing. Normally when an artist trying to get out of a contract, they just throwing demos up. They just putting up anything to get out their contract. Gunna gave them 2 great albums and a third that ain't bad. Do it sound? This album sound the most similar throughout, I'll say. It is some songs that stand out to me, but this was the one I was like, yeah, he probably just had these in the tuck waiting, probably, because that first one he got out, that was definitely more well thought. One of One was kind of similar to this, now that I think about it. It just gonna know how to make great music, though. That's the thing, like, we know if an artist trying to just pack it in and just be like, I just came to the studio, I just put it out just so I said I put it out. Compared to an artist who just go in the studio and make music, it sound good. They probably having conversations like, hey man, we might do something with this. Nah, they just put it on the album. The fans go gravitate to it. Maybe we'll shoot a video, maybe not. But this last one, like I said, let that sink in, go crazy. GP, I really enjoy. An early favorite for me was At My Peers featuring Offset. WGFT featuring Burna Boy, I really enjoy. Again, Endless, Rare Occasion. This album felt like a playlist, kind of. Like it showed Gunna variety, I'll say. And I was just thinking about this album, the last one, his last album on YSL, going back to What's the first Gunna song? I want to say Phase. Either Phase or Belly of the Beast was the first Gunna song I remember hearing, but that's not Slime Season. Drip Season 3, that's the green cover of the mixtape. I was thinking more of that mixtape till now. And how Gunna can get in these different bags with these different artists, different features. I think that's the next goal for him after he leaves YSL. Not saying YSL held like limited his talent, but I feel like he's probably going to move independently, which I wouldn't mind seeing. I would love to see an artist like Gunna move independently, but I'm 1,000% positive he getting some bads offered to him. I'm positive he getting some bads offered to him. He came out the gate swinging with these 3 projects, so I'm sure his phone is blowing up, and I'm curious to see what his next move is. But I'm definitely sure in terms of music, he's going to tap into different genres. I wouldn't be surprised to hear Gunn on a K-pop song eventually. That's how far I think his reach is going to get. Because we heard it throughout the years, and I feel like this album, in terms of a total album, showed like, oh, he really can get into those different genres flawlessly, damn near. You know what I'm saying? So I'm very curious to see what Gunna does. So the albums I've had in rotation so far this month: Chance the Rapper, Starline, JID, God Does Like Ugly, and Gunna, The Last Wun. Also, the Metro Boomin, Futuristic Summer. That's been very nostalgic for me. Like I said, Bryson Tiller drop, Young Nudie drop. I think Joey Badass announced his album is coming out the end of the month, if I'm not mistaken. Currency has another monthly drop coming this month as well. Westside Gunn been teasing. I did see the video of Westside Gunn allegedly trying to help squash the Benny and Freddie Gibbs situation. Hopefully that does get resolved. Not saying it got to get resolved and they go back to making music, because I'm sure it's still going to be some touchy feelings there, but who knows? Who knows? They made great music together that short period of time they did, though, so I really wouldn't be mad. I think in terms of albums that I can think of off the top of my head that was on my radar for the past few weeks. If I've missed any, please reach out. So I want to thank y'all for tuning in. This has been episode 294 Stash House Podcast. Like I said, it's audio only. I'm going to try my best to get the audio right, to put something on YouTube at least. But thank y'all for bearing with me this week. Hope everyone go out, have a great work week. If you're taking summer class, oh no, school back in session. Oh man, school is back in session. So shout out to everybody back in school, from pre-K all the way up to college. Do y'all best. Shout out to the teachers who tune in to the podcast as well, because I got some people, got some homies who are teachers. So shout out to the teachers, man. Do y'all best. Shout out to the coaches, administration, everybody, man. Everybody. If you're working, keep getting that bag. If you're traveling, be safe, be mindful of your surroundings. And if you're just taking it easy out here, just trying to stay in the AC as much as possible, salute to you too. I'm right there with y'all. So keep me in your prayers. I'll do the same for y'all. Salute.